I always try and write one book a year, and then after I've finished writing it, it takes another year before it's actually in the bookshops, because the publishers work really hard to get the best covers, plus the editing as well. They need to, and my books need to be translated into Dutch as well. Some of my readers thought that I spoke Dutch because I wrote in Dutch, but I don't speak Dutch at all, I'm afraid. So there's an awful lot of work that goes into getting a book published, so that's why it's actually 2 years from beginning to write a book to it going on sale in the shops. I wish I could say that there was a little shop I could go to. That would be nice. Just anywhere at all, really. Sometimes you're sitting on a train and you overhear somebody saying something and it just sparks your interest. Or this morning in this lovely hotel here in Amsterdam, I was looking at the other people in the breakfast room, and I'm just so nosy, I'm so curious. I want to know who they are and what they're doing here, and are they married to each other? It's just endlessly asking questions. What if, what if? Sometimes I find ideas in magazines and newspapers, or from stories that I hear from friends, but I always make it up. I don't use them, just the ideas. Sometimes you just glimpse someone and you just think, wow, and they're fascinating. And so then I'll use a little aspect of the way they look, or the character, or what they do, and I'll use it all over the place, everywhere. And after 25 books, I've used a lot of characters. So anybody watching this, they don't know, they might have been spotted by a writer and used in a book. I love all my characters, but for different reasons. Lara's daughter, Gigi, is sort of like my daughter, and she's, you know, a lovely character. She's great fun, but also Harry in the book, he's wonderful, and I really like Harry. So he'd be interesting to go out to dinner with, but for a completely different reason. But all of them, all of them. They don't look like me, I don't think, but they always, a lot of them seem to be a bit like me, because my daughter types my books for me, and sometimes she says, "Oh Mum, you say that," or "You do that, that's exactly what you do." And so my characters, I'm not very good at sort of housework or keeping the house tidy at home. I'm quite untidy, so my characters are generally untidy. I hate mustard, so my characters usually hate mustard, and they sound the same as me. Sometimes, yes, I can't sleep, but I'm thinking, okay, what can happen next? And then you just get a brilliant idea, and it's, oh, fantastic, brilliant, and then you can go to sleep. And then you wake up in the morning, and then you have to write it. I don't stay up all night writing. I go shopping. You just wait for it to happen. Sooner or later, a good idea will come to you. Or if it's boring for me to write, then it might be boring for the reader to read. So I can just bring something new into the book, just bring a new character in, and it's like a little bomb going off, and it affects all the characters that are in the book and brings it back to life. And so if anyone's trying to write a book and they get stuck, I always say, bring in a new character. Yes, there are, surprisingly. They usually don't mean to. If they go on holiday and they run out of manly books to read, and then they read one of mine that belongs to their partner, they'll say afterwards, oh, I started reading it, I didn't think I'd like it, but actually I did like it because it's comedy. It's not sort of extra romantic, it's more the comedy, and I've got men in my books, as you know, I've got as many men as women in the books, and they end up, to their surprise, really liking the books. It would probably be, in English, it's To the Moon and Back, and I can't remember which book that is in Dutch. I can't remember the Dutch title. But also, Vlinders voor Altijd, I think would make a lovely film. I think I would love my books to be made into films, but I tend to have so much going on and so many different characters that it's quite difficult. But no, Vlinders voor Altijd would be lovely.